with this already, but I mean, you can't emphasize it enough. It's not that if there was good people running the Fed, this would all be okay. It's literally a trap. It's a Ponzi scheme, and it cannot continue indefinitely. I mean, it'll work as long as they can keep finding new people to keep borrowing new money into the system so that people can pay off the old debt with the old interest. But when people stop borrowing the money, then you get a collapse. And, all this printing of money, it's bankrupting Americans through inflation. When we originally got the Fed, the dollar was worth something like, our dollar today is worth something like 5 cents compared to the dollar when we originally got the Federal Reserve. And that's just all a theft against the American people. And the money goes to finance big government, it goes to finance the wars, and it goes to finance this incredible wealth that the elite class has amassed by manipulating the system to its advantage. It kind of leaves you at a loss for words. In my opinion, this is one of the single biggest issues that we need to solve if we hope to get America back on the right track, because as long as we don't have honest money, we're never going to have a proper economy, and you can never say we have a free market because they're manipulating the market for money. That's the most crucial, basic thing in an economy, and it's a central planning commission. We know that central planning doesn't work, but that's exactly what these guys at the Federal Reserve Board are doing. They just arbitrarily pick an interest rate, whatever they think is. They say that they're doing it in our interest. You can think whatever you want about that central planning.
Are you still there, Alex? Okay, well, we were talking to our guest. I was sitting there listening to him break everything down in an eloquent fashion, reading along with his article, and we lost him on his phone system, or it might have been our phone system, so we'll get Alex Newman back on with us here just as soon as we can. But again, his article is Fed Manipulations in the Crosshairs. And while he's been talking, I've been going over some of the articles I have. UK eugenicists demand we need a global initiative for population reduction. We need global debate on population now, London Independent. Corporate media follows government orders, runs, excuse me. Well, when it rains, it pours. Lose our guest, and suddenly I've got a parched throat here. Corporate media follows government orders, runs defense for the Etheridge assault. We've been covering that up. Continuing on the carbon tax front, Lieberman says pay $1 a day for climate. Okay, going back to Alex. Alex, we lost your phone line there. Please continue where you left off.
Yeah, so, I mean, we're literally in a really bad situation. Unfortunately, the rest of the world is in this situation with us. Almost every country has a central bank that operates similarly to ours. And, some people think that the Federal Reserve is a government agency. It's really important for people to understand that it's not. What it is a banking cartel. And I think cartel really is the best word to describe it, because the way it's structured, you have 12 regional Federal Reserve banks, and each one is owned by its member banks. They're basically shareholders. And the Federal Reserve admits to this. Recently, when they were sued by Bloomberg, a Freedom of Information request, trying to figure out where that $2 trillion in emergency lending went, the Fed admitted, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York filed a supplementary brief saying, hey, we're a private institution. We're owned by private shareholders. Our board members are appointed by our private shareholders. You can't force us to disclose anything. We're not subject to the Freedom of Information Act because we're not part of the government. And so far, the courts have not bought that argument. So Bloomberg is making some progress on the lawsuit. They won on appeal as well. The Fed appealed the decision, and Bloomberg was successful on the appeal. But the Fed is still refusing to hand over the documents. So that's one component of it's estimated now at $27 trillion in potential liabilities that the Fed has put us on the line for. And to put that number in perspective, the U.S. economy, our gross domestic product, is in the neighborhood of $13 trillion. So, I mean, this figure is so startling and that comes out to about $75,000 per person in the United States, including children. So if you can imagine yourself paying back $75,000 for the actions of the Fed, which, you know, they haven't even benefited you. If anything, they're helping to bankrupt you, and now you're on the line to pay for it all. So, I mean, this should really outrage people. I think, like Ron Paul, it's one of the most important issues for us to get our country back on track is to solve this Federal Reserve mess. We need to get rid of it, and we need to institute sound money, you know, without a question. Gold and silver, in my opinion, are a good way to go, and we can have a debate about where to go with money. I was listening to your interview the other day with, is his name Peter Joseph from Zeitgeist?
Yeah, that was years ago.
Oh, was it? Yeah. And, I mean, I don't think that we need to get rid of money. His argument about if we get, you know, the scarcity thing.
His argument is to have a global computer that decides everything, and it is absolute dehumanization. But it's always packaged. That's what the collectivists always do, is they package things as total liberation, but what it brings is total enslavement. That's why you have the New York Times doing positive, glowing reviews of him, while separately saying, I'm violent and need to be arrested. The system gives that their seal of approval and goes into convulsions of fear dealing with me. Let's come back and talk more about...
That's a good sign there, too.
Yeah, let's come back and talk more about your research and what it found with our guest, Alex Newman from the New American Magazine. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com are the websites. I'll finish up with your phone calls early in the next hour. Then I'm going to get to a news blitz and Chris Matthews' hit piece and my take on the oil spill. Stay with us.
So you think the massive Gulf oil leak won't affect the air you breathe? Think again. Benzene, a toxic gas emitted from crude oil and a known carcinogen, is now airborne, traveling hundreds, even thousands of miles inland. Whether you live near the Gulf or not, benzene and other volatile organic compounds could cause adverse reactions to those living inside your home. NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, came to airfiltersandpurifiers.com for answers on how to clean the air on boats aiding in the Gulf cleanup. Do what NOAA did. Contact airfiltersandpurifiers.com and ask about the HealthMate Plus. The HealthMate Plus is capable of trapping 99.97% of all polluting particulates. Buy the HealthMate Plus today with no tax, free shipping, a 5-year warranty, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to airfiltersandpurifiers.com. GCN listeners get a 5% discount by using promo code GCN. Call 800-499-2418 or go to airfiltersandpurifiers.com, your trusted advisor for clean air.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
You worry. If you don't understand the situation. Hi, summer's coming, and now's the time to learn self-sufficiency. If you're going to eat from nature's bounty of wild edible plants, remember, there's a learning curve. Experience is the best teacher, but that means time. To speed it up, you'll need to build on the wisdom of a teacher who has lived it. Author Linda Runyon is that teacher. Her Wild Food Knowledge Package is the crash course. The DVD gives you a 3-hour overview of her world directly from her. The book gives you an in-depth reference with all of the insider know-how you'll ever need. And her wild cards are your portable summary and cheat sheet for your field work. This 3-pronged learning system will take you from spectator to scholar to gourmet survivalist in weeks, not years. Folks, I can vouch that Linda's the real deal. She's my mom, and I watched her do it. So go to ofthefield.com or call 888-51-EAT-FREE. Start now. Knowledge is power. Better take action. I think a storm's coming.
was a highwayman. Along the coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade.
Coming up, new bill gives Obama a kill switch to shut down the internet. It's a PrisonPlanet.com article. And it is one of the stories on the Drudge Report today on the right-hand side. Right above a Washington Times article, epidemic growth of net porn cited, briefing children in danger. But when you actually read the National Security Strategy, May 2000.